Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be looking at art journaling for your well-being, which is one of the reasons why I got back into art journaling again. So this page was a image transfer that I did into my journal, and unfortunately I've actually lost the first little bit of creating the image transfer. But basically how you do it is, this is a picture from a magazine which I put gel medium on the picture that I wanted to glue down into my book, and I put it onto the page in my journal as well, and pressed them both firmly together and then left it to dry overnight. And once you've finished, once it's dried, you just spritz it back with some water and rub away the excess paper. Now you can see in the little bits where it's a little bit cloudy, that just means I've got a little bit of extra paper pulp there. So you just go back in with a little bit more water or a baby wipe and just rub it away. When you do image transfers, they are never going to be perfect, so you are going to get bits that rub off, and that's okay. That just adds to the nature of it, and certainly with this piece it sort of really added to it. The other tip that I have found, however, is once you've sort of got the area on your image transfer that you really love, just seal over that piece in particular with some clear gel medium. So I've done that over the face area, and you would have noticed at the beginning of this that I was putting some gesso around the image. By sealing over the image with the gel medium, it means that I can put the gesso over and do what I'm doing now, so actually painting down into the image and wiping stuff away. And because that image is now sealed, it's not going to paint over or stain the paper underneath, if that makes sense. So at the moment I'm going through my collage, not my collage, sorry, my stencil pile, looking for some stencils, excuse me, to do the ghosting technique. So you can see, because I've sealed my image, I can actually rub that paint away off my transferred image. It just helps you maintain the image on your page, I suppose, a little bit more, and by painting around it helps you incorporate it in. So it just gives you that little bit of protection, I suppose, just in case you put paint in the wrong place, or you know, get a little bit too heavy-handed like I do quite regularly. You can see there the paint was sort of going onto her face a little bit more than I wanted to, but because I know that that image is sealed, I can rub it away and it's going to be okay. I'm still going to see what I want to on that image. At times you'll see me go in with the wet wipe and just wipe away any of the excess paint where I don't want it. So as those people who've sort of followed my channel for a little while, there you go. So that's me cleaning up the area of my image, so you can see where I've wiped it away really easily, and I haven't stained my image transfer. For those of you who've followed my channel for quite a while, you know I always talk about the benefits of acrylic paint. For me personally, is the fact that, you know, when they're wet you can remove them, but when they're dry they're permanent. So that's why I was heat setting that layer, because I was happy with that layer, so I was happy to commit it and make sure it was permanent. And that means then I could go in with this next layer of paint and do the same thing again, remove the excess paint that I didn't want to put the detail in with the pattern. So this stencil is a stencil from Sarah Trump. It's from Wondered Trumpet on Etsy. And a very, very kind subscriber actually sent me some of her stencils, so thank you very much for that, because they've got beautiful patterns on them. So they're not ones of the regular ones that you usually find, but if you can get your hands on them, they are fabulous. So when I was doing this, this is done for the Scrapping Clearly Cybercrop, and Leanne Jago is an expert at image transfer. She does them all the time, so she's someone to go and check out if you want to see the image transfer process. Go and have a look at what she does. So when I first started this, I had that image glued down on my page. The next day when I was journaling, I was feeling really, really anxious, and I could feel the anxiety rising, and I've always had anxiety, but I've never really been able to put a name to it until the last few years. And because I know what it is now, I can actually deal with it a lot better and identify it and do the exercise I need to do to calm myself down. And one of the things that really helps me is just going into my journal and doing stuff like this and painting out my frustrations, acknowledging, I suppose, even though I haven't really talked about what in this journal, anxiety itself, that's what I was doing. I was sort of acknowledging, yep, you're not feeling great today, so let's do something about it. Let's put it in pictorial form. Let's give yourself some reminders, like this is the darkroom door stencil, which is I think called the well-being stencil, and it's just brilliant. It's got all those perfect words in it, you know, breathe, well-being, relax, calm, peace, centered. So they're all the things I sort of wanted to tell myself, which is why I thought it was really important that I include them on this piece that I was doing it. So I don't like to shy away from my emotions when I'm doing things like this, because I know that this helps me deal with it. And a lot of people I've talked to find that art journaling in any shape or form helps them just visualize, I suppose, what's going on or what's bothering them a little bit more. And for some people, just writing all over the place tells them what's going on. So you can see here I just needed to write a little bit, so I'm using my really scribbly writing because it's not something I wanted to go back and read. I just was writing down, this is what's bothering me, this is why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, and get it out of my system, acknowledge it, and then get it out of my system. Now obviously this is very personal to me. Everyone deals with everything in different ways. Some people just art journal because they want to practice their art, and that's fantastic, and that's what I do for most of the time. But occasionally this is my mental health stress reliefs. So this is why this page came into being. So I could, not that I actually really need a reminder of this, because it's really funny, I can actually go through my journals now and identify very, very clearly, just by the color choices, the imagery that I use, or the way I've written something, how I was feeling on the day and what mood I was in. But I thought I'd actually name this one up. So I got my thickers out. They're very handy occasionally. These are the little foam ones. And just wrote on anxiety sucks over the top of my journaling. And that was kind of a way as well, even though you really couldn't read that journaling in the background, just to sort of hide that journaling a little bit more. And by choosing the navy blue sort of to tie in, again, it doesn't really stand out on the page. It does when you see it in real life, obviously, because it's a little bit more three-dimensional, but it kind of blends in. So I suppose the real focus you can see is the eyes and the face and the word breathe, which is in the end what I wanted it to do, because that was a bit I wanted to focus on, that method. So I hope that sort of explains my art journaling process and helps those people that it needs to help. And for those who don't, hopefully you learnt something about image transfers. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, bye for now.